sex, seeing us on a crucifix. Tell me just how bliss is this? Guess it's ecstatic. That part. Starting and finished, but clearly it's finished. Dynamic group slowly diminished. Not a threat anymore. Bloodshed instinct, white and I saw. Death enjoy what I saw. Clear jet escape, I soared. Up in the sky. Dragonfly does fly. Those with pride had died. Put it aside, my God. Strive to be best. Just know I am better. Biggest stunner yet. Valley trendsetter.
Yes, now we talking. One of the things you could do is hire people like me and my boy T here to get the job done. What I'm saying is average citizens that know what's going on.
Going medieval. Let the headless horseman slide. Let the headless horseman slide.
What up? This is Fab here. I don't have my shades like this fly young man. But I'm excited. It doesn't matter. I'm excited. You don't understand. I knew this gentleman from when he was little. We know him now is Scottsdale's own Troske, right?
Yep. Since first grade.
Since first grade. Him and his sister. Sister was a little younger. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But I am stoked to have a family friend here is the way I look at it. Troske, everybody. Scottsdale's finest, like I said.
Yes, sir.
Are you offended if anyone says that? Or do you do like most musicians and want to claim Phoenix?
Scottsdale's own sounds a little soft, to be honest.
Yeah, cause nobody really gives a shit about Scottsdale. But they could.
I'm born in Grand Rapids, we'd say.
Really?
But when I was a kid, I used to lie to all my friends and say I was from Detroit.
Nice. Why'd you say D-Town? What made you
It just sounded hard, you know, when I was a kid.
D-Town is famous. I know my mother had a little boyfriend there and took me when I was a kid. Yeah, Mom, I remember that. I do remember D-Town a little bit. So Grand Rapids, Michigan boy.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you remember about that?
Well, I moved here when I was like 7.
That's cool.
But
I came early too.
I went to kindergarten over there, and I went to I think it was called Kent Hill Elementary School.
Nice.
And
what was it like cold winters?
Cold winters. There was like 3 white kids in my class.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of black kids.
Yeah, a lot of black kids.
Nice. Nice. So you kind of grew up. What was the culture like? I know you were young, but was hip hop an influence back then?
No, I didn't start listening to that until like, I'd say, graduation. Kanye West is really like what I
Was
really.
that your first big influence?
That's what I really started liking. I think I was kind of embarrassed, you know, as a white kid to like be into hip hop as a kid.
So Kanye, now, time out. That is a big deal because most people say Chief Keef, but a lot of interviews I listen to, you get these gangster dudes. So maybe for them it was Chief Keef. I like Chief, and I recognize his milestone as a creator, but I like that you say Kanye because that isn't all-encompassing. Chief Keef.
I think Kanye, Kid Cudi were kind of like my early Eminem. Can't forget Eminem.
See,
kind of my early influences.
My children introduced me to Cudi. I didn't know Cudi personally. He was shown to me. But legend. So those were like your early influence.
Yep.
All right. And then what was hip hop like in the Valley when you moved here? Or how old were you when you came here?
I think about 7.
So that was pretty young.
And I didn't really start listening to hip hop until I was like 12, 13.
Okay.
To be honest.
What were you like, just skating and stuff like that?
Listening to like, honestly, I didn't really have a good music taste before. It was just like, growing up, I listened to a lot of classic rock. my grandpa, you know. So it was just
Nice.
like classic rock and stuff. And it was almost kind of embarrassing to be a white kid and like be into hip hop.
I don't know if that's true. Here's one. So I grew up with hip hop, like foot, step, lockstep. I think it was the same time they're saying it was born. Maybe so too was I. Who knows? But rock came later, and I appreciate the influence. Like, so as a musician, who cares how it was done? It's all kind of put in this pot and becomes the mixture that I regurgitate verbally. So for you, there's nothing wrong or nothing to apologize for learning the rock aspect first. Because there's a lot, that incorporates a lot of musicians and a lot of styles. You could go so vast with rock. Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think the black culture is hip
But
hop.
you know my grandpa.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there. You know, he's really a I don't know how to describe him, to be honest.
No, he's abstract, definitely different. He definitely would stick out. There's no way to really describe him like he's one way. You couldn't say like Southern this or Midwest that.
Well, the thing is about him is he's not actually like racist or anything, but he's unforgiving with the way he talks. So like he works with a bunch of Mexicans and he'll literally call them slurs all day long. The thing is about him is he's not actually like racist or anything, but he's unforgiving with the way he talks. But it's like a joking thing with them.
I think it's kind of like for him meeting them and understanding them a little bit.
Yeah, but I always tell him though he's gonna find the wrong dude. Like you know what I mean? Like not everyone's so accepting about all that.
That's funny. So in Brooklyn, like T back there is from the Bronx, so he can relate because he had different races around him, just like Brooklyn did. We shot the shit, kind of like Grandpa did.
We did that. We were all day, every day. And if you were the white kid and a bunch of black kids, best believe they were coming for you. And you typically is where you get the comedians or just people go with their hand.
That were white. You could say it's like, oh, the Irish are feisty. Yeah, maybe because they were surrounded by other races that didn't appreciate it. So they had to learn how to kind of combat. But that was a New York thing. We didn't, Latino or not, you were getting it. And I think wherever Grandpa comes from,
North Carolina.
same thing. Same thing. When I was in North Carolina, I had some girls throw me in the ditch, and they thought it was funny. I thought it was insulting, and I wanted to like punch him in the face. You know,
Yeah.
'cause in New York we do things a little different. But my aunt talked to me. She was like, "They girls though, you can't really punch them in the face. So why don't you just learn how to play?" But culturally, I didn't want to play with them. I considered them enemies, you know.
Yeah.
But see, that humor, they thought it was funny.
Yeah. I think the way you react to it kind of sets the tone for it too. You know what I mean? Because like if you're kind of chill about it or you play along.
Think about it. Your grandpa comes from that.
Yeah.
Where throwing somebody in the ditch is funny. See what I'm saying?
I mean, his family is like Appalachia.
Right.
It's like that.
So then the truth is, it goes deep, bro.
He's a scholar in his family.
Because there was. There was a guy named Nathaniel Bacon, I think his name was, and he was kind of hickish, from what I understand, and he brought together a lot of whites and blacks, and they almost overthrew this nation. But for the fact that they had a spy and they didn't have good reinforcements. My point is, kind of Hicks and blacks came up together because they had each other.
Yeah.
It was poverty we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you didn't benefit. Like people think slave owners, you were just poor white. You didn't own no slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there was commonality. A lot of that is kind of only understood if you're there. Like I was there, so I got to see the commonality from a contemporary perspective. I understood, because even though it was a little offensive, we still got along, your grandfather and I.
Yeah.
If he was straight up offensive, I would have been the one that caught him on his first situation, if it's his first.
Maybe he's good at reading the room. Because he's never gotten himself in some stuff.
He did get in some stuff. I remember tales about a park fight and everything with.
Oh yeah.
So
we'll get into that, huh?
it's not like he's not feisty.
No.
I can respect people who come from that kind of background.
Yeah.
Because I do. And I'm not saying we're equal. Our fights have been different. And I don't want to get on here and brag about things I've been in. I've had losses too. But in both Phoenix and Brooklyn, let's just say we were able to stay alive. You know, let's put it that way.
Well, that's like, reminds me of what we're talking about now reminds me of a post I saw, and it's like, it was a video, you know that song Jay-Z, It's a Hard Knock Life.
For us.
So there's that song, but it's just the original of the girl singing it. Everyone's like, this is really who Jay-Z was slinging crack to? And it's like, and then the top comment though was, pain knows pain.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, that she's a little white girl that's singing, but the pain's there.
That's true. Symbolically, Annie was an orphan. Why was she an orphan? That was what the song was about, little orphan Annie.
Yeah.
Why was she an orphan? Obviously, well, not obviously, but perhaps, hypothetically, her parents were drug addicts.
Yeah.
So, you get famous off a song, and the irony is you also created pain.
You can't forget that. You could look at my past, and I don't think him and I have the same kind of past. It's like if I come to fruition, I don't think I got that kind of regret. I have regret, but not that kind of regret. I never really caused that kind of destruction upon people.
Yeah.
Okay, so what then? Obviously, it's your Phoenix experience. What became hip hop? Was it influences from people like my
Are you
son?
talking about like me actually spitting?
Yeah.
It was definitely at 80% Sarias.
Okay, so that's my son.
Yeah.
And
That's why if you listen to our old music, it's like we're all Sarias clones, you know what I mean?
what's interesting about that is when he was a kid, he resisted. Like I kind of looked at it at the time like a Jedi, and I had pupils, though they might not admit it, but I don't care, because I'm better than they ever were or would be. But if they stayed the course, maybe they would learn something. But your own kids wanting to do, because Sarias isn't the only entertaining-oriented child of mine. But if you find out they're into entertainment, you want to kind of embrace that a little bit because you have orientation with that. But as he was as a baby, it was kind of like more his journey to take, not mine. You know, and you just gotta respect that. I respected it. But he took his, like he paid attention, but he did so kind of covertly, not like, if he participated, it's because I made him do things. Like I had a part in a song, and I made him do it, and he was like, I don't want to say that. I said, I know, ready, go. You know, that kind of thing, and hit record, you just do it, kiddo. But, and it's the same thing with, if I had stage opportunities, I would give them.
I remember that as a kid, they'd be like, yeah, we're gonna go perform with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys got to see, it's kind of like when I was coming up, my father, I didn't include him in what I was doing, but I was like a knight looking for fights, you know, so that was my whole beginning here. It was like, even in Brooklyn, but here especially, it was like, who? And we'd go to schools for football games, like Central, and say, anyone rap? Yeah? And I'd take them down in front of everybody, you know. Your team might have won, but
I beat you, you know, that kind of shit. But the reputation was negative, so I had to learn how to convert that to performing. How about you, though? So my son kind of was a good influence. You say 80%. What did you do then with the 20% to create what you define as Troske?
I think that over time I kind of developed my own style. I think I've always been strong and like I can like think of flows in my head. You know what I mean? That's usually how I'll do a song. I'll put on a beat and
Not
I'll
paper, just internally?
No. I'll write it down for
Okay.
sure. But to start it out, I like to play it and kind of just go, you know, like think of melodies, think of, you know, how am I gonna do this?
Right on.
And but I don't know. When we were making music, I don't want to say I ever really took it super seriously. Not that I didn't love doing it, but to me it was just like we weren't doing it to get famous. We weren't doing it to have the best produced song in the world. We would get in the car, put on a beat on one phone, record on another phone, and we'd all have to spit our verses simultaneously without messing up. It's not like we recorded my verse, do yours, and then redo it. No, it was if the last person in the verse messed up, we did the whole song all over again.
Which would create a discipline.
Yeah.
But even, can I interject?
Yeah, please.
I feel like you're always gonna have influences when you start rapping anyway.
Right.
Typically, you kind of base off what they're doing, but the more you rap and just make music and start writing, is when you start realizing that you have something to say.
Yeah.
Instead of saying what you're inspired by, if that makes sense.
And just make music and start writing is when you start realizing that you have something to say.
Yeah.
Instead of saying what you're inspired by. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and I like listening to your generation because we didn't create like that.
If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And yours is pass the baton, you don't have it. So it's kind of like mental exercises, and I think it's more so what today's artists would be able to understand.
I think for me the music was, and not even to get too deep into it, but like, you know, family, drugs in the family, we got, you know, a lot of mental illness in the family that we can get into.
But is that part of it?
And I think that it was like me, it was my way of just like saying crazy shit. And
talk to me about that a little bit.
You know
when
what I
you
mean?
say influence of like drugs and what else did you say?
mental illness.
Yeah, please elaborate. What do you mean?
Well, my mom's schizophrenic, bipolar, my brother's schizophrenic. You know, the drugs, my grandma didn't love her to death, but they're, you know, my grandma and my grandpa were meth heads when I was growing up.
That's a lot of influence.
Yeah, so it's like,
I used to work at a place called a co-occurring. What they meant by that is mental illness, substance abuse. You dealt with that directly.
and then another thing too is that I always felt like not to like be on my high horse or anything, but I always felt like I was like more, I wouldn't say smarter than my family, but more like logical.
Okay.
Like I'd get in trouble for stuff and I'd be like, wait, you know, like, can we talk about like
I'd get in trouble for stuff, and I'd be like, wait, you know, like, can we talk about, like,
and it's like, it's no talking. It's like, they're right, there's no talk, and like, I think that made me mad as a kid, and you know, I wanted to get it out, and my way of getting it out was talking about drugs. I have songs, you know, I'm talking about stuff I didn't even do, which is a lot of rappers. Like the other day, we're playing a song, so I was like, we ain't smoked meth before, what the hell? I was like, I know, I just said it in my song, dude.
See, my cover for that is, as a fable, my way of explaining it is, well, this is the story of my environment.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be me.
I'm stealing that from you.
Yeah, it's what I see.
Yeah.
I disagree with, okay, here's an example, direct. So people say, well, you're not a gangster. Who cares? I got shot at, I shot at. I got beat up, I beat up. All this in a gang environment. No, I wasn't
You were
put me
gangbanging.
in, jump me in or something. But we fought the same battles.
Yeah.
I almost lost my life a few times to these battles. So, why can't I talk about that?
Yeah.
It's the same shit I saw. Even if I didn't go that far, like I did. Let's just say I'm just witnessing it.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick witnesses it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he ain't got a body count, maybe, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? He just don't come across that way. Good lyricists But there's many that are good lyrics. I was listening to Yasin Bey. He's underrated. That kid is dope. But a lot of them. Okay, so that is important what you're saying. That drugs, mental health, don't excuse what you're able to see and put out to the world. I think that's bullshit, the context people give you, that you have to be that. No, I'm telling you from what my experience is, seeing it, this is what it is. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell that to come, when they call me. I saw it, but I ain't got shit to do with it. He did, obviously he'd be in jail still. I mean, that's all dumb. Well, who met or maybe nobody, the way this trial's looking. But, alright, keep going with that. So, it's just like Melomanic was saying that you could, you get an influence, but then it's also what you're saying. That 20% is really more than what you think. It's not really 20%. It's half
Maybe
of
it
what
grew over time, but when I
Yeah,
first
yeah.
heard Soraya, it's like, oh my god, I can do that, you know what I mean?
Mine was LL, battling him.
Yeah.
He'd have a verse, and I say, "Arr," and then do mine. Go. And so, good influence. And then, what about, okay, so, I know you too as a skateboarder. Is that not something that you consider yourself, or?
Nah.
But your family has skate brawls. Like Grandpa had a famous skate fight.
It's in the blood, but I don't really.
People who think Scottsdale don't get busy, we could tell you they do.
Do you know the full story of that one?
No, something about an accusation or something.
So, that's actually
And your brother?
That's actually a really defining moment in my family, in my life, and my family's life.
Tell me real quick.
That's the day that my brother officially was never the same.
Oh.
Was that day.
Okay.
I mean, he was showing signs of it, but that day right there was he's never been the same since.
So what happened?
So he had a knife. He was at the skate park and he had a knife, and it went missing. And then he confronted the kids who he thought stole it, and they're like, "No, we didn't steal it." And then one of the kids sucker punched him. And that's when my grandpa came in, beat that kid up, and then some other kid jumped on my grandpa's back, and he turned around and beat that kid up too. And ever since that day, I don't know what it was. It was a big shift in my brother's mood, and that was the worst. Following that were the worst few years of my entire life. It's it got bad. I'm telling you, at one point, my brother forced me at knife point to drive him to the mountains. You're driving over 52nd Street right there.
Yeah, the Palago Mountains.
Palago Mountains. Held me at knife point, forced me to drive him up there, and then he tried to commit suicide. He tried to commit suicide by cops. He called the cops and said, "Hey, I'm gonna commit suicide up here. Come here." And then when they got up there, he tried rushing him with a knife, and they shot him with beanbags. He went to a mental institution, and it was he's kind of mellowed out since then, but at this point, it's he isolates himself so much, I don't think he'll ever be the same. But that skate park incident was the defining moment of it, where it's his friend. That's when he was pulling shotguns on us, accusing everyone of doing stuff all the time that they weren't doing. He lost all his friends.
His mental illness took control.
I feel like that hurt him more too, because those were people he was close with.
Yeah, he was close with the people who did that to him at the skate park.
He used to skate with them every day.
And you can't define someone's trauma.
No.
The moment or whatever. You could diminish it. Oh, that's no big deal. But it could be obviously significant. So you had your brother kind of be more incorporated through mental health struggles, and you had your sister pass. That's a lot. Well, that's all your siblings. Then you talked about your grandparents and the struggles you went through.
They're doing drugs. My mom's in group homes because she has cerebral palsy. She's severely mentally ill as well. So it runs
in the family. I'm surprised I'm not crazier than I am.
Well, my point was, the album should be dynamic, bro.
Yeah.
How far are we coming with this, or how serious? Because that's the thing about a lot of people who work with Melo, that it's hard to match his intensity with things. But Although I think you could always do more. You guys don't perform. That's the only thing I got against your generation. You gotta perform. But that's it. What are you doing to get this stuff out? I think it's stories that need to be heard, man. From even this interview, I think it's imperative because your generation are going through similar struggles here, there, and everywhere.
I don't know. I kind of just dealt with it. I don't know, to be honest. You mean as far as you like releasing it through the music?
Yeah, like
I've been writing a lot, but I haven't been really active on making
Hi,
music.
show me some music of yours. It could have used some EQing, but it
was probably in the car.
Probably in the car.
and it's just I'm like, what can we do to get more? And it's just I'm like, what can we do to get more?
Oh, make it
I'll tell you my biggest problem with me making music right now
Tell me.
is that, and it's also why I loved your last 2 albums because they're unique. You haven't heard that sound before. I can't find it's hard. It almost feels like I got this creative mind, but not the skills to put out what I want to put out. So for me, it's like, why am I even gonna put it out?
So can I tell you how to do it?
Like the YouTube beats, I can't. I like them. Don't get me wrong, I like them, but they're never unique. It's like they're all cookie cutter.
Well, some people can write to anything, but
maybe it's because I was influenced so heavy by other people that I reached a point where I wanted to do something unique. I wanted to do something that could influence other people. And
you're my bunny. Oh, I love you so. Always hopping. I don't trust you though. My heart frozen from a while ago. Not your issue. Still I let you know. Still I saw you while driving around the way. Mutual friend from around the way. Seems this fire where a dragon stays. Avoid the flames. It's safer, I say. Later on, spot me in the club. Your co-worker giving me hugs. I wink right back at you, love. It's elemental, so temperamental. You're my bunny. Oh, I love you so. Always hopping. I don't trust you though. My heart frozen from a while ago. Not your issue. Still I let you know. Bunny rabbit, watch it hop and go. And to think, yo, once I loved you so, I can't fake it. I don't trust you though. Can't live this way. Why I let you go? I let you go. Why I let you go?